If you think about what this event is about, which is primarily about mission-critical private networks for utilities, and Ericsson is arguably one of the biggest technology providers and players in that space, not only just in terms of public safety and other mission-critical industries, but particularly with utilities. We are probably the only one in North America that have not only deployed private networks for utilities, but also in the process of about to deploy another big one. More so when you think about this whole cellular industry, the cellular industry has been around for a long, long time, whether it's 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, and now evolving to 5G, right? But for the utilities industry, this whole cellular infrastructure is relatively nascent, relatively new, but this is the direction that the industry is heading. And so obviously it is imperative for players such as Ericsson to be very much part of this ecosystem where, as I was talking earlier as well, it will take a village to build this network for utilities. And Ericsson clearly is one of those big players within that village to help build it for the utilities. So UBBA's role primarily is, think of UBBA as that body that helps bring and coalesce all the ideas together. Not only just pure technology, but business. For example, how do you create a narrative around that investment? When a utility has to go to the Public Utility Commission, the respective state they operate in, and you have to tell the story as to why is private LTE or private network important toward grid modernization? That story has to be written. And UBBA was formulated to essentially help build the components of that story. Because private networks is a big value chain. There is spectrum, there is radio technology, core, IoT services, all kinds of stuff, right? And so no single player can provide all of that to the utilities. UBBA was created to bring that ecosystem of partners and players together, including the utilities. Because at the end of the day, who do you think the beneficiary is? The utilities. All the technology providers, including the ones like ourselves, we are here to serve the greater benefit of the utilities. That was the genesis of UBBA. And one of the big glues for that is spectrum. Spectrum is, think of that as our roads, our pathways. If you don't have that, how do you go from point A to point B? So availability of spectrum becomes that key catalyst, I would say, that the backbone for where utilities could deploy their private networks. And UBBA was literally at the very beginning of that private spectrum concept. And that's what UBBA is all about. Now UBBA has gone beyond just talking about spectrum. It is about pulling together that whole ecosystem. Well, first of all, we were one of the original proponents of UBBA, okay? And so that's one aspect of it. We've been part of this ecosystem, the UBBA conversation, for a very long time. Various players within the UBBA ecosystem as well. For us, it was extremely important because what you see going on at PlugFest, you have various technology players who on a normal day will probably not play next to each other. Everybody has their own swim lanes. This provides that forum, that platform where utilities can come and experience the interoperability between various technology players. Ericsson is one of the bigger interoperability players or technology players, so it is imperative for Ericsson to be here to show that interlock, show that, hey, we're not this proprietary thing. Yes, We understand you have an ecosystem of providers, and we can play in that ecosystem. Oh, absolutely. I brought the whole team here, the whole Ericsson team is here, and it is also a humbling experience to be amongst our fellow competitors, partners, utilities, and kind of get the feedback from them as well as to how this is going. And everything that I have seen, experienced, and heard so far, it's incredibly positive and exciting.